At the outset, we would like to appreciate the efforts of volunteers of Sanskrit department who came with this idea of the lecture series and are taking tremendous efforts to make it a success. It is really tough task to collect the videos from the scholars residing in different corners of the world.
Further, we would like to thank the Department of Sanskrit of University of Mumbai who have given us this opportunity to present our thoughts on a different topic. Our topic is animal kingdom in Sanskrit texts through the lenses of zoology.
मा निषाद प्रतिष्ठां त्वम् अगम शाश्वती समाहा यत्क्रौञ्च मिथुनात् एकम् अवधिः काममोहितम्.
This is a famous verse from Ramayana where the courtship behavior of demoiselle crane is described. Crouch pair impelled the composition of Ramayana. Apart from Vanara, vultures, there are descriptions of various birds in Sundarakanda. Similarly, many references to animal behavior in Sanskrit literature.
No composition of Kalidasa is away from animal behavior. Human emotions are attributed to animal behavior. In one act, deer symbolizes Shakuntala's sheltered innocence, whereas in another act, the pursuit of deer symbolizes king's romantic appetite. Ankusham Dviradasyaiva Yanta Gambhira Vedinaha. Here in Raghuvansha, Prince Raghu's courage is imagined as that of elephant. The maxims of worldly wisdom and advice of political affairs are incorporated through the fables consisting of animal and human characters of Panchatantra and Hitopadesha. I am amazed how these poets have such a deep knowledge of animal behavior to use it for the proper impact of their composition.
All these poets are a product of Indian knowledge system. So, of course, they were well versed with various branches of knowledge. Many Sanskrit books mention animals as a part of story, but I am interested in knowing about the theory books in on animals in Sanskrit. So far that we have seen in Kautilya Arthashastra has detailed instructions on animal husbandry.
It traces back to the oldest composition Rigveda. Yadyupajihvika yadvamraha atisarpati sarvam tadastuteghritam. It is from Rigveda 8.102.21. It means whatever timber the termite has nibbled, whatever the ant has infested, may it all be welcome to you as ghee. Purusha Sukta 8th verse gives first classification of animals. Pashun Tansh Chakre Vayavyan Aranyan Gramyaschaye. That means animals living in air, in forest and in villages. That is domesticated animals. Chandogya Upanishad 6.3.1. Some Smritis, Puranas, Ayurveda texts also classify animals as Andaja, Jivaja or Jarayuja and Udbhija. There are references of the terms like Shatpada in Mahabharata.
Oh, it means six-legged creatures.
Uttama. Sushruta Samhita has described 6 varieties of ants, 6 of flies, 5 of mosquitoes, 8 of centipedes, 30 of scorpions, and 16 of spiders. The role of harmful insects in destruction of crops and importance of useful insects in the production of honey, silk, and lac have also been greatly realized in such texts. Tattvartha Sutra by Umaswami classifies animals based on the number of sense organs of animals and insects. Bruhat Samhita Adhyaya 61 also mentions the same as Go Lakshanam, Hasti Lakshanam, etc. It has very few but exact descriptions of birds and animals. Many of the yogic exercises have postures similar to that of various animals and are named accordingly. If you know Marjarasana, Ushtrasana, Bhujangasana.
Oh, the classification criteria is quite different to what we study today. All these Sanskrit texts deal with almost all aspects of taxonomy, including identification, classification, nomenclature. It is surprising how our ancestors have done such detailed observations of extra characters, colors, habit, habitat, behavior of arthropods, and even though there were no technological advancements during that time. I have read about epics that forecast events based on omens by observing animal behavior. As we already know, animals behave differently before any natural calamity. When I search for such systemic study of animal kingdom by ancient Indians, I came across names like Gargya,
Shankha?
Shankha, uh, Vyasya, Bharadwaja, and many others. But I could not find their texts.
Right. Their texts are not available. We come to know about these scholars as they are mentioned by the earlier ones. But I can just mention their expertise, like Gargya and Vatsya had written their books on bulls. The credits are given by Varahamihira in his Bruhat Samhita to Parashara and Vaguri. Gargya and Shankha had written books on deer. Bharadwaja's book on goat was famous. Palakapya, Gargya, Vatsya, Vaishampayana were experts in Gaja Shastra, and we come to know about these by Bhoja and Nakula in their respective in their texts Yukti Kalpataru and Ashwa Shastra respectively. The topics like Haya Rutucharya, Haya Rohana Jnanam, Vrusha Gunaha, Mahisha Pariksha, etc. in Yukti Kalpataru seem very interesting. All these above scholars must have spent a long time in forest with animals and have observed their behavior and their characteristics.
Very much similar to what today's wildlife biologists and environmentalists do.
Correct. As it is said by Hamsadeva, Chiram Parichayat hi bodhavyam tad ingitam mruduktibihi. For instance, Kalidasa had said in his Raghuvamsham that Shatakarni Rishi was an ascetic who used to stay with a herd of deer.
Ayurveda texts also include scientific information regarding animal kingdom. They provide information about preventing and treating animals for their diseases, treatment using animal parts. In fact, veterinary treatment was developed in early India. Veterinary Council of India, founded in 1984, adopted the slogan in Pali language,
Panesu
Panesu
Sayamo.
Sayam, kindness towards animals. The bull from Ashoka's currency is its emblem. Probably the world's first veterinary hospital was established by Emperor Ashoka somewhere in the year 320 BC in his Mauryan capital of Patliputra.
I already mentioned Palakapya has written Gaja Shastra. He was also known as Karenu Putra. He had spent a long time with elephants. Karenu is elephant, Putra is son. So, the son of elephant. I am amazed after knowing that Palakapya has written two books on elephants, that is Gaja Shastram and Hastyayurveda. One person has so much to write about just one animal is unbelievable. Hastyayurveda deals more with anatomy and physiology of elephants, their diseases, treatment in detail. Gaja Shastra is general text on elephants. And we know that Indian civilization and that of elephants are intricately intertwined together, which probably would have been an inspiration to write such books. This also reminds me of another book, Matanga Leela, consisting of 12 chapters and authored by Neelakantha. This is a famous book and was translated in Malayalam also. This book is also about Indian elephants, about taming and training them, and also the anatomy of elephants, good and bad omens regarding their sounds, physiological characteristics of elephants are also detailed over here.
Yes, and it can be said that Matangalila is an updated version of Gajashastra. Gajashastra is divided into 19 prakaranas. It states that the story of Palakapya and the birth of divine elephant. Fourth prakarana onwards, it describes the color, the odor, the growth, the strength, the patience, the guna, the dosha of elephants, marks on their body. Further, it explains Gajavana, something very interesting. Forests in India that are actually suitable for elephants to thrive.
I remember even Manasolasa of Someshwara 3. This is actually a guide of for the king, which has such descriptions like Gaja Shastram. Elephants are considered to be Gaja Lakshmi, that is pride or the symbol of prosperity of king. Similarly, Artha Shastram is a famous text on managing kingdom. So, along with spy system, disaster management, taxes, king's routine, etc., animal husbandry is also discussed in detail in Arthashastra. Shalihotra Samhita is encyclopedia of animals written by Shalihotra around 3 BC. This described horse and elephant anatomy, physiology, surgery, and diseases with their curative and preventive measures. It elaborates on the body structure of different races of horses and identified the structural details by which one can determine the age of horse.
During Mahabharata period, Nakula was, we know Nakula, he was the author of Ashwachikitsa, and he was considered to be an equine expert. His twin brother Sahadev was a specialist in cattle management. Hansadeva's Mrugapakshi Shastra, this book is on science of animals and birds. This was written in the 12th century AD, and it's comprising of around 1712 shlokas in Anushtup Chanda. Before this, there was no such book that was extensively written on animals, and that too so many of animals and birds. It would be gratifying to say that only Hamsadeva has described the lifespan of animals, even small birds like hen. Hence, let's focus on this book of Mrugapakshi Shastra. Although King Shaundadeva of Jinanagari was fond of hunting, he was aware of this indiscriminate hunting, and he thought probably that if such a thing carried on, the animals might get extinct after some time. It is said that the king felt sorry that there was no information available regarding these wild animals and birds, so he inquired to his minister Tarananda if there was anyone who could tell about these animals. Tarananda suggested the resident of Mandak village, Hamsadeva. Later, Hamsadeva, in the order of his king, wrote this book. The first volume of this book contains information of regarding 127 animals, and the second volume 97 animals.
Mruga in Mrugapakshi Shastra stands for Pashavopi Mrugaha according to Amarkosha. That means animals in general. Secondly, Arandyanam cha Sarvesham Mruganam Mahisham Vina according to Manusmriti 5.9, which means except wild boar or except wild buffalo, all the animals are considered as Mruga. Or Mrugyante iti Mrugaha, that means prey animals. Mruga Pakshi Shastra also describes about approximate age of animals, their species, their temperament and nature, their Sanskrit names with their family, how to hunt them, how to take care of them. Author has compiled the details of birds and animals in this book with the help of earlier text, information from the Royal Zoo, and his own experiences, according to given in his first part of Mrugapakshi Shastra, 986th line. Amarasiha has arranged the words which are synonyms of birds and animals. But when you study it properly, they just don't appear as synonyms, but probably different species. They are for the different species of a genus. This fascinating relationship between Amarapusha and Mrugapakshi Shastra was given by the naturalist, wildlife conservationist, and Marathi writer Mr. Maruti Chittampalli. Let's take an example of lion, which will emphasize on how this interesting information is given in this book. Amaraposha describes the synonyms for lion as Simho Mrugendra Panchasyo Haryakshah Kesari Harihi. So here Simha has thick mane, golden yellow color, and he is characterized by his speed.
Uh, Something like an African lion.
Mrugendra is majestic gait, long whiskers, golden eyes.
Something like description fits that of the Southwest African lions.
Oh, Panchasya has big testicles and big tongue, hopping kind of gait, and he is always sleepy. Haryaksha always drooling.
Oh, these have I don't know anything about such traits of animals.
Okay. Kesari is reddish orange in color and has lines on face.
So this actually looks very much similar to the Asiatic lion that is found in Gujarat Gir forest.
Acha. Hari is comparatively small in size.
Okay, yeah, this looks like a West African lion.
Okay.
If these assumptions are true, we may probably infer that the author of this text traveled the globe and he recorded his findings. However, some varieties of lion that were existing during that time have probably got extinct before contemporary information was recorded. And this way, we can see that Hamsadeva actually describes the foreplay, the mating, symbols of pregnancy of lions, and miscarriages in lions. This is systematically elaborated, scientifically presented in the book. Very similar to Pliny of Elder, who was born in 26 AD and has described these things in his book, Natural History. Very similar accounts in both of them.
Okay. But then why are we interested in this particular topic under IKS? One of the important part of these books, if how there can be harmony between animal kingdom and the world of humans.
The other thing is Ayurveda book, which is not only a book for treatment of humans, but also of animals. It also describes use of animal parts, animal products, medicines, therapeutics, diagnosis, understanding poisonous and venomous animals, parasites. It also describes animals as foods. Thus, animal life is of great importance in medical tradition. There are interesting accounts in history which narrate about transplantation of animal organs, like that of use of a goat eye, animal teeth, dead animals' body parts for cosmetic surgery purposes. This Ayurveda text makes us realize that animals had to be taken care of, and their good health was needed for human betterment.
Texts like Mrugapakshi Shastra, Gaja Shastra, Ashwa Shastra are encyclopedia of animal science, whereas Artha Shastra focuses on practical utility of animals. Since Kautilya explains the title of his book as Artha means all the resources on earth for the betterment of all living beings. Obviously, animal kingdom becomes inseparable part of this book. Therefore, animal husbandry, cattle management, animal breeding, animal welfare, animal products, animal as income source, etc., are very deeply and systematically explained here. The appointments, duties of different officials like cattle superintendent, official breeder, animal accountant, veterinary doctors are thoroughly mentioned in Arthashastra. The penalties and punishments in case of violation of animal rights have also been prescribed by Chanakya. So, there is no doubt that Kautilya's Arthashastra is a legendary text in the context of history of science and administrative knowledge of ancient India.
Observing and learning about animals is not only interesting but also of immense important. In the past 1.5 centuries, we have been destroying many of our ecosystems, and we are on the verge of of a global catastrophe. These ancient texts will encourage us to become more conscious, establish a balance for all living beings, for safety as well as a prosperous future.
So, we may conclude here that our forefathers devoted considerable attention to animal kingdom. This could not have been possible without careful researches, extensive and elaborative observations continued over hundreds of years. The knowledge was used for the welfare of all living beings. The ancient Indian civilization and ancient texts have provided so much information regarding animals and their uses. So here we are forced to ask, have we been reinventing the wheel for the past few centuries?
Think about it. Namaskar.
धन्यवाद.